You know, I don't care what your politics are. I could care less how you handle yourself in your private life, whatever your social preferences are, etc. When it comes to doing the things that you should feel honored to be a part of, like when the president invites sports champions to the White House to acknowledge their accomplishments, not just for their city, but for the state and for the league, it's a big deal. The more teams and athletes who let go of their inhibitions and just say, I don't care if I lose a couple followers on social media. I don't care if a few people boo me now moving forward or look at me differently because I went down to the White House. The president of the United States invited me or my team or whatever down for a visit and to acknowledge my accomplishments, and I'm going to relish in that fact. When you look at the job that Linda McMahon has done in wanting to reduce the size of the Department of Education, kind of break away from those national teachers unions who have run rampant promoting things like DEI, woke policies, the trans agenda, not celebrating high test scores because our test scores are so low, alternate versions of history like the 1619 Project, etc., and moving back to a little bit more of like a federal system where the states, if they want to just pour absolutely everything they can into the education system and be proud of those numbers again and build up good, strong kids across this country, they could do so. It takes a lot of courage for a president to do that because of how big the bloat and waste comes out of Washington, D.C., and then the blanket policies that, depending on who is in the Oval Office, is essentially what's getting taught in the classroom. How do you feel like this reinvestment in America's children has benefited the president? And moving forward, it looks like we're going to be seeing some amazing things when it comes to the future education of America.
Oh, I agree. And the thing is, President Trump is not tied to the bureaucracy. And that's what I keep trying to remind people is that what he is bringing is not going to cut services, if you will, of what we're able to do in education. What he's doing is cutting the bureaucracy out that has actually stymied the real results of education that could be so strong. And he's really unleashing, just like he has unleashed the power of energy in America to make us, again, with the drill baby drill that we're going to be seeing. I think we're doing the same thing with education. He is going to free us up out of the federal bureaucracy that has been calling the shots and is going to put the power back in the states and local communities and in parents' hands once again in making the choices for their children and their education. And I think anytime you do that, you're going to have a much stronger culture, a much stronger society. And he's to be applauded for the courage to do it.
I have to admit, I live out here in Southern California, unfortunately. You know how the education system is out here. I mean, my kids go to a charter school with a pretty conservative board of directors, so it's not that bad. But my kids have been discouraged from doing a project on Donald Trump for the course of the last few years. I am proud to announce, though, that my son did get to pick President Trump for his project this year as he's about to complete fifth grade, and we are just putting everything we can into it. It's going to be an apt. We've found a Spanish version of The Art of the Deal because he's in dual immersion, so he's going to be reading some experts. Making America Great Again in Espanol. It's going to be a good time for him, and probably not such a good time for his teacher who had a Kamala Harris bumper sticker on her dry erase board when I went in there for the parent-teacher conference. But
wow, congratulations, man, to your son. That'll be a phenomenal project.
I think it's going to be. We're definitely going to make oral presentations great again. I can tell you that much. Listen, in closing today,
I love it.
I do have to ask about some of the stuff that you guys are going to be working on congressionally now that you're all back up on the Hill. Reconciliation package coming down the pike. We got markups next on deck. We saw Scott Bessent meet with the Big Six yesterday. A couple of those went to the White House to meet with President Trump afterwards. Optimistic views from Speaker Johnson to meet the Memorial Day deadline, and then the new deadline for the finality of the package by America's birthday on July 4th. How important is it for Congress to deliver right now, not just getting out of the first 100 days and technically into the start of the 2026 midterm election cycle, but just to deliver for President Trump on the mandate that he was given and the promises that he's trying to keep to Americans?
Well, I think it's critically important. In fact, it's not only delivering for President Trump, it's delivering for all of us keeping our word. Promises made, promises kept. These are things we campaigned on. People sent us to Washington, D.C. in November of 24 to do government differently. And President Trump has taken the lead, no doubt about it. Congress has got to come in behind him. This reconciliation, in fact, I've been in meetings all morning. In fact, I've stepped away from them to make this call with you today. I'll be going back into my education and workforce markup today. I've got judiciary tomorrow. And so it's already happening.